Hello, America. My name is Kizzy Shantae. I know that many of you don't know me, but who I am is not as important as what I'd like to talk to you about. So I'll get started. Some of you know that several years ago I came across a video. And in this video were several past presidents, senators, CIA agents, scientists, doctors, some of our nation's highest esteemed. And in this video, they were telling some of our nation's most horrendous crimes against humanity that you could imagine. They also talked about secret societies, the Illuminati. I know that many of you have heard of such stories, whether you want to believe them or not, whether you want to disregard them as conspiracy theories, that's your preference. But what do we call what's going on right now? And what I mean by that is the killing of innocent people right in our faces, right in the streets. You know, it doesn't matter where we find them, whether it's a jail cell, nor what color they are. White or black. But the fact that it's happening, the fact that innocent people, period, are being killed in our faces, with the killers being exonerated or sometimes not even charged at all. That should not be a comfort to any American. I don't care what color you are. We shouldn't be comfortable with that. Police officers, you either. You really shouldn't be comfortable with the fact that people whom you think have your back and whom you're swearing to protect and serve can kill someone and ask you to cover it up and make you a part of the cover-up. How comfortable are you with that? How comfortable can you be with that? I mean, where are the orders coming from? Who's telling you to cover up their mess, their lie? You know, we fight not against flesh and blood. This is what we need to understand. So who's really the commander? Who's telling you this? Because you have to understand, while you're doing the bidding for them, the same people are in charge of giving your kids tainted and poisoned food, this genetically modified food. Is your family not eating that? Are you not eating it? While we're being experimented on and given all these different medications and unregulated drugs to fix problems that can be attributed to the food that you're eating, all designed to kill you, whether you want to believe it or not. Do they really care about you? Why? Because your skin color is white? Because you're not black? It's not about you. It's not about your skin color. It's not about black or white. In that housing market crash, the last one, in which your houses were stolen, your 401ks, pensions, and livelihoods. Not one black or not one Mexican did any of that. Hmm? Did we not send those same crooks? Did we not bail those same crooks out? The same ones that stole your houses. Your taxes were raised to pay their salaries, to send them on vacation. Even they went on vacation after your livelihoods were stolen. Hmm. What I'm saying, America, is we have to wake up. This fight that we're in down here, this racism, it's fake. This is what they use to keep us fighting, to keep us divided. When what it really is and what it really boils down to is the battle of good and evil wrapped up and handed to us in a box called hate. You have to understand what hate has allowed us to become. In a world of godly people, in a world of godly people, how is it that this is allowed to happen? We use hate to justify the injustices, even in ourselves. You know, I understand it's hard to look at. It's hard to look at because that means we're going to have to look at ourselves first before we can demand anybody anything. How do you demand justice but won't give it? How can you demand something that you yourself won't give? We have to come out of it. We do. You know, godly people, it's going to all come down to yourself. because nobody can stand with you. Nobody can take your sin for you. We're going to all have to choose who we're going to serve and what we're going to serve. We can't be like them. We can't be lawless and righteous in the same breath. You know, one thing that I came into in seeing all of that bad, I ran to God, to the Bible, to any religious text I could get my hands on. And I read and I asked for understanding. And upon getting into the Bible, a lot of the stuff that I watched in that very video was in the same book. It was in the Bible. Except I got to get it from God's side of the story. There's two sides to every story. And what I'm going to share with you is what was revealed to me by God. And there's a message in here for all of us. One thing I want you to know is it's going to hurt. The truth usually does. And I know that we're looking at all this bad, but one thing I want you to know is that we do have a way out. But it's going to take us coming together. Because this is it. This is what it's going to come down to. And what I want to share with you is kind of a divide in that there's a word for us all. Black people, white people, all people, God's people. And I pray that your ears are open and that you're able to receive this message. I pray for your strength in standing in it. So we're going to start with black people. And when I say black people, I'm speaking of those whose roots are bore through the transatlantic slave trade or slavery. Whether here in America, the islands, Africa, Mexico. Black people, I want to start with you. Have you ever really thought about, like what's going on with us as a whole race of people? And I know many of you may say, well, it's the white man's fault. He did it. And while none of us can deny the moral degradation and the unethical behavior bought on by some white supremacist on black people. That's not exactly all that happened. And what I'm going to share with you, again, amongst other things, is God's side of the story. And it's taken from the Bible. It's a story we're familiar with, some of us. And I know there's a generation of kids growing up that don't really know God. So I'm going to break the story down to you. But I do implore that I hope that you go back and read it for yourself. But it's the story of Moses. And Moses was a chosen man of God. He was chosen to give the commandments to the children of Israel. We're all familiar with the commandments. Thou shalt not kill, steal. But he was also commissioned to give the curses to these children. And that's what we're going to talk about, are the curses. It says, Deuteronomy 11, Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day. And a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside every way which I command you this day, to go after other gods whom you have not known. Understand that these people didn't listen. Okay. You may have heard about Moses walking them around in the wilderness for 40 years. There was a lot of things that went on. The first set of commandments were broken, all due to the fact that these people that Moses was trying to tell something to were not listening. He was trying to show them who God was. God was trying to reveal who he was to these people. In Deuteronomy 31:14, Behold, thou days approach that thou must die. Moses was getting old by then. But God was going to tell him what was going to happen. In Deuteronomy 31:16, and the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, which means to die. And this people will rise up and go whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whether they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. And it came to pass, when Moses made an end of writing the words in the book of this law until they were finished, he goes on to say, For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive, you have been rebellious against the Lord. How much more after my death? For I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I command you. And evil will befall you in the later days, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. In Deuteronomy 29, For they went and served other gods, and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in the book of the law. Black people, if you have ever wanted to know what has happened to us and why we are in the position that we are in, it's very important that you listen to what God said was going to happen. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the ends of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, and thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hands. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee. What I want you to understand, God says that he shall bring a nation against these people from afar, from the ends of the earth. They were in Africa. And these people were coming from America. It says, I will bring a nation against thee from afar, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. The Africans didn't understand the language of the English settlers. It says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt was known as a house of bondage to the Israelites. They knew Egypt. God said he's going to bring you into Egypt, like into Egypt, but this time you're going by ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, and thou shalt see it no more again, meaning you shall see your land no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you. No man shall buy them, because nobody paid them for their service. There was a lot of money being made off of slaves, but they didn't make any. It says that they will beget sons and daughters, but they shall not enjoy them, because they shall go into captivity. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look with failing and longing for them all the day, and there shall be no might in thy hands. Women had children while they were in captivity. Many families were sold away from each other. It says, thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee. They were hungry and naked, and with literal iron shackles upon their neck. It goes on to say that they shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, thy flock, sheep, until he has destroyed thee. It says, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and long continuance. And also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law. Then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Africa has the brunt of this curse. You have to understand these people were ripped apart from Africa. They were, the strong, the warriors, and then there were those that were left. It goes on to say, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared, trapped in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none say restore. Reparations. What I want you to understand, that these are just a few of the curses that God said was going to happen to these people if they didn't listen to him. I understand that this is hard. Just witnessed the hand of God. Look at what's happened to us, black people. And when I say happened to us, what I mean is we have chased after what? Money? And everybody needs money to survive. But what I'm saying is, what have we allowed to happen to us in the chase of it? Ladies, black men, what have you done in the pursuit of money? I mean, and it's not limited to black people, because white people, you're just as much in it as we are. In that you have been handed the same web of lies. It's in all of our fiber. It's in our being. In unknowing. We didn't know. God said we wasn't going to know. This, what I just showed you, he says that we weren't going to perceive that this was happening to us. He said he was going to hide his face from us. I encourage you to go back and reread the Bible. As God says, no one of these shall fail. Here we are, and here we stand. But now we stand in a different truth. And it's just that, the truth. So now you can base your own self and your own life and livelihood where you will. The choice is yours. Ezekiel 39:8. Behold, it is come and it is done, saith the Lord God. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed, and my hand that I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am the Lord their God, from that day and forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hands of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword. According to their uncleanliness and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore saith the Lord God, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. Isaiah 48. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortable unto Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. For she has received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. And it shall come to pass, that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. For I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. All they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear ye not, I will help thee. That they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord had done this. The Holy One in Israel has created it. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that we are God's. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. Romans 1. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them. For God has shown it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Ye are my witnesses, saith the Lord, and my servant who I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. Isaiah 42. I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things I do declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. I have a long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now I will cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thought. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. America, wow. I know I've said a lot, and yet there's still much to be said in the days ahead. Um, but what we have to do right now is search our own hearts and seek what's right. You know, I do have an action plan. God has an action plan for us. Don't worry. But one thing it's going to take is us coming together. You know, you can share in the support by donating to the IGSTS causes and campaigns, which are really the campaigns of the people. We have to be the answer to our own cause. And while we are going to have to come together, America, you have to understand that we as black people are in mourning right now. We're going to be in mourning. And we're going to have to do some things to help heal our wounds. Black people, we will have an upcoming summit to kind of detail what we need to do in order to help us as a race of people. I hope that this message finds you well, and I pray that for your understanding and for your strength, for your ears and your eyes to be open. May the Lord keep you all.